All right, we're live.
We're live.
Welcome, everyone. Brothers of the Serpent Podcast live at Luxor Temple. And once again, we're using these. Are you on?
Is it in the right place?
I'm on. I hope.
Hopefully the audio is working. I'll check it here in a
Russ
minute.
is going to check the audio.
But yeah, we're at the entrance to Luxor. So we're going to take you through and show you some of the interesting bits that we've seen here multiple times. There's a lot of interesting stuff right at the entrance, and of course, the obelisk, which blows your mind every time you see it. It's amazing. All right, let's see. It still says waiting. Let's see. All right, here we go. Keep them entertained while I listen to this audio.
I wrote a song about it. Want to hear it? Just kidding. But yeah, let's check out this obelisk. There were two here originally. The bases are calcite or quartzite, or otherwise really hard sandstone bases. And
sounds good.
Another granite base sitting on top. And some of the features you can see in the granite is reminiscent of what we'll see at the quarry in Aswan. Some of the scoop marks.
Yeah, there is scoop marks right there in that repaired area.
Yeah.
Here at the base, you can see they've done some repairs. This is really interesting because this is rare. We see these keystone cuts all the time. Get the camera over here. And then in this one, the actual keystones are still in place. This one's broken. This is all modern, but they've repaired, and then that one you can see is still completely in place. So they were using this black granite as keystones for the repairs. And it's like they just sort of roughly cut these hourglass shapes into the material and then sort of hammered this down in, trying to hold the block together. Some of this we saw at the Osirian yesterday, up in the roof area. So at the top of the known Osirian structure, there were
some crystal hippies crystal on this.
Didn't
Didn't mean to steal your energy.
Steal the karma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another interesting feature, though, if you look up this corner, you can see this thing it's got a waviness to it. You know, it's not this perfectly precise straight line. And yet, I mean, it's still amazing. There's actually a curve to it, like a convex curve as it tapers down. Still quite an amazing feat.
Yeah.
To cut that and then they flatten it and then knead it.
They said this was, what did you say, 260, 270 tons?
I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
Let's go this way.
Yeah,
we got a big
whole
tour. It's going to
tour
make a
coming
lot of noise. They're mostly reconstructed.
This face used to
statues
be
here.
on the ground of this statue, but it's mostly reconstructed. So they're still doing work here, like standing the statues up, preparing them.
Yeah, so the darker gray that you see is all the reconstruction, and then the sort of lighter speckled, I don't know if you can see it in the sunlight, but that lighter speckled part is the actual granite.
God, they fixed the
Anyways,
subtitle
We're
location.
going to show you
It's working again.
a couple of different levels of quality in the statues. Also, there's a clear difference in either the workmanship or, you know, if one was using better tools than the other.
Should we go over and look at this piece that's on the ground first before we go in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good example up close. So they're still in the process of repairing these statues, and you can see back there all the stacks of materials they've got cataloged and organized. It's a huge jigsaw puzzle. put back together. Lots of reconstruction on the sandstone structure as well by the archaeologists.
Yeah, imagine a jigsaw puzzle that has been rebuilt and reused over thousands of years by multiple different people.
Yeah,
And some of them are making new pieces, some of them are reusing old pieces.
So this is an example of one of the finer statues, and yet it's been utterly destroyed. But there are features that we'll see on some of the others that represent this fine work. I mean, this is incredible polish and the roundness, the depth of the cut around the knuckles of the hand here. This is the fist. These are the knuckles. Like this. Just a beautiful polish to it.
This is the top of the hand, right?
Yeah.
Looks like that. This is, really amazing.
Some of the other ones that are a lower quality will be more like kind of a square cut, and then they just kind of, you can see where it's sort of scratching grooves in where the fingers are supposed to be. But I mean, look at this. The depth at which they cut that and polish it, and its roundness and smoothness is amazing. And it's the call to prayer.
Yeah.
You might not be able to hear it with these mics.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah. We're here with Yusuf.
Yeah. No problem. Thanks.
Thank you.
Shukran.
So there was another obelisk here taken carrot. This was the smaller one. They cut the bottom of it off and took its parrot.
You can look down there real quick and see the avenue of sphinxes. They've been excavating this avenue and putting together the roughly 3,000 sphinxes that line the avenue, and it goes all the way to Karnak Temple, which we're going to later. I think it's how many? Do you remember how far it is?
Like a kilometer?
Yeah,
More? Yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
But anyway, there was a
I keep
procession.
walking.
Yeah.
They won't let us do it.
There was a processional thing that they would do where they get the boat and they do this whole ritual where they're carrying the boat and this whole procession and the altar and all the stuff from one temple to the other. And I don't know, I just find that as like a carrying the boat.
They're telling the story.
Yeah, I feel like
It's the same story as in Edfu, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like a memory of, and like if the temples represented two civilizations or one civilization that left their homeland and established another somewhere else, the other temple.
Yeah. So the boat is the live info.
And the ark, essentially the ark that carries them from one land to another. That's just cool. My interpretation,
It's definitely not the mythical story. But maybe you guys can learn to recognize Ramses II. This cartouche is everywhere in this temple. So whenever you see these two big circles in the cartouche, whether it's vertical or horizontal, like Ramses II. Also, Merenptah is here. I think, is that him? At the bottom here? But don't quote me on that.
Two guys
Yeah.
sitting down facing each other. I don't
see the figures. But up above, to the two circles in the cartouche, Ramses II.
Yeah.
And on the other side, again, just in case you didn't see the other one, Ramses II. Just in case.
So the backs of these statues are really interesting as well. We'll get to that in a second. Here's more keystone cuts. What timeline are we talking here? Is this Roman times they were trying to put this thing back together? This is a
I
repair.
even New Kingdom, yeah.
New Kingdom.
Yeah.
This is a repair.
Yeah.
So there would have been chunks of granite in there, holding that together.
There's another one here.
Another one up there. Good. Cool way to fix it.
And then if you see
Stitches.
on the back here, scoop mark from the quarrying itself.
Yeah, so you'll see that square impression, squarish right here. You see those all over the unfinished obelisk and all around the quarry. So these were definitely using the same methods to rough out the statue. And you can see them on this one as well.
Yeah, there's a line of scoops down the back of this statue.
Right there. And this sort of waviness of the back is just like, I don't know, it's almost that organic feel of the outsides of the boxes in the Serapeum. It's similar, like they didn't really care that it was wavy. It's kind of cool. Not a precise flat surface,
Right.
and yet the work of the actual sculpture of the statue
Yo,
itself,
Cédric, comment ça va?
in some cases have incredible levels of precise work.
And just to be clear, this is modern repair. This was actual geopolish.
Tu regardes Zeus?
This is the remnant of the ancient statue. So you'll see that all over the temple where they've been repairing it.
Nous voyons Zeus sur YouTube ou tu me dis que je me semble comme Zeus? Merci. Dieu est égyptien. Oh, je comprends, mais non. Oh. Tu es très joli, mon ami. Comment ça va? J'espère que tout va bien avec vous. Oh. Toi aussi.
Yeah, this is really amazing.
Allons-y. Je vais commencer déjà.
And again, you can see here at the base that we have these roughly
Excellent séance, ça, oui. Ok,
scenes
très bien.
and glyphs on the bottom hieroglyphs.
Bon courage.
You can see
Muscu.
it's Ramses II.
Séance musculaire, je comprends.
Basically telling a story. On both sides, you see this in the face. He's telling a
Très
story
bien.
how he's awesome. And
Félicitations.
You see how they're all got their hands tied behind their back. So he won the war. He got a bunch of prisoners. New kingdom was conquered. But this border on the side kind of shows you how people from different periods were writing on these statues. So who knows? I mean, is this the same guy who did this? Could be. Maybe this is just trace work they were going to finish out and they never got to it. It's possible. But it's just really shoddy. The lines are wavy. Looks more like what we see on the box there too. Sandals?
Nice jump. All right,
Let's go in.
The main part of the temple is sandstone construction.
Notice all the later period writing on there is Greek.
They obviously built it.
Yeah. So this proves that they built this pylon, right? Their name was carved in.
columns here are, again, you can see they use the column drum. It's like a disc-shaped stone. They stack up the discs and then they carve them down into the shape of the column, like this sort of traditional phallic, or maybe plant shape. I'm not sure.
Yeah, like lotuses and iris.
Just to our left above is a mosque, and this was the entrance to the mosque back when it was built, and that's how deep it was buried. This whole place is sand level. And the mosque was actually built on top of a church, which is on top of a temple.
This is really interesting. We have single piece granite columns. Very high workmanship here. They're not as large as the sandstone columns, but the sandstone columns are actually just made up of discs or blocks, half discs, and then carved down like tiles. These are single piece construction made of granite. Right here at the end, two of them right next to each other. It's great.
This way, these two columns standing here so close together, I don't know. It looks like one was built after the other.
Yeah. I mean, look, somebody's even cut the base of this. Like, they've gotten rid of it so they can get something through this doorway. I don't know what this is, but it's like they chopped it off from there all the way down.
And even the hieroglyphs that are on the columns, on the pillars themselves, they're clearly not the same skill level as the columns themselves. Ramses II's name written in there real deep right at the top. And this doorway, this megalithic lintel stone here behind the columns, all granite. It looks like this whole structure may have been granite at some point.
Yeah.
And then sort of repaired with the sandstone.
Right. Yeah, so this may be part of something much older than the rest of this. And some of these statues that we're going to look at here might have been part of the original or much older construction as well. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
And then there's two on the outside.
Yeah, 13 statues here.
Here's a altar stone made of granite, and you can see the attempt to quarry this. Yeah, they were attempting to split this. I mean, I guess they achieved it, but make square blocks out of it for some other construction purpose. And I think probably the archaeologists put them back together. Not sure how long that's going to go on, but
Right. Yeah.
So here you can see this level of quality we were looking at in the hands outside, the piece of the hand. And of course the one outside was much bigger than this.
The head jet on this one used to be on the ground. It used to sit right here. It was like this tall. Just amazing. amazing piece of artwork.
And you can see the archaeological reconstruction of the body there. They've even painted it to look similar to the rose granite. But the way the legs are cut around, deep in, leaving that high relief, and the musculature in the legs, the polish, the level of polish you can see on the knees and the hedget. It's the original feature was incredibly fine work.
Yeah, the depth of the cut back there, and then it also has the, what Ben was calling it, the cricket bat, whatever this
Yeah,
is,
that's
that
the
hangs
back of the
yeah.
back of the robe or whatever it is that hangs down. Here's another high quality, deeply cut. See the cuts in the arm going around. I mean, they almost get where the angle is going straight back.
Yeah.
That's how deeply the arms are cut in. You can see the polish, and if you get close here and look up the clothing, you can see the straightness and the depth and the quality of the lines in the skirt, or the, whatever you call that thing, robe. The definition on his belt, the knife.
And then there's a cartouche cut into the belt.
Roughly
the knife,
done.
over the belt, yeah.
And if you look down at the fist there, you can see how deeply cut the fingers and the knuckles, the roundness of them. And all of that is to compare to a statue like this. And now you look at the depth of the cut around the arms. It's just not even close to getting, you know, the angle going straight back in around the arm. It's sort of a kind of a groove. The proportions of the body are not the same. Watch out, camera guy, there's a light on the ground. The legs aren't cut in deeply, and they're out of proportion. They're a little too big for the body size compared to the other statues. Musculature is not as well done. You'll see later that the toes are the same. They're not deeply cut. The fist is square with just sort of grooves cut in around the fingers. And the polish is not nearly to the level of the others.
Yeah. Good question. Is the belly button on this one tube drilled? The question he's asking. Well, you probably wouldn't. Yeah. You gonna climb up there? You climb up there? You can even see with this one, back to the
This black granite one?
yeah, like his right arm looks, the elbow looks hyper extended. Like it's actually going, looks like it's going back. It's too straight. You know, the other guys, they have this sort of relaxed, the arm is slightly bent, and it doesn't quite get that effect.
Yeah, let's go
And then the
across to these.
cartouche is in the shoulders.
Yeah.
What's that? Okay. Okay. Well, we'll just run through this real quick and then we'll stop.
No, you
Oh, of course. He was climbing
He's
around.
probably still,
Yeah.
he's still over here inspecting something, I bet. Don't want to disconnect the Bluetooth. My
Right.
bad.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to stick with you.
That was my fault. Yeah. Let's go around back here.
Okay. So we'll head around behind these statues first.
Yeah. Just real quick, you can see once again what we were pointing out before. The this here, the depth of the leg cuts versus this one. Clear difference. The depth of the toes, same deal. And it's very clear around the backside also the differences in quality. The straightness of the fabric, the lines in the fabric. And again, at the top there's the archaeologist reconstruction on the neck that has the sort of dimpled.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious because you see this same thing with the reconstructions of the vases. Like, so in the museums, there will be these beautiful granite vases, like what looks like precision polished, and then next to it is a clay pottery vessel with the same paint pattern.
Yeah.
So the ancients were also trying to copy the look of the granite, and the modern archaeologists are doing the same thing with their reconstruction and mortar on these ancient statues.
All right, let's go around back.
Yeah.
I love this view here. Like, you can see them. If you move the camera around here, you can see this amazing polish. You can really see the features well, the way the light is back here. Another interesting aspect that we'll look at in a second is the carving of the hieroglyphs in the back. There's plenty of examples just on this piece of how there were some previous carvings that were erased, ground away, and then new hieroglyphs were carved in deeper. And you can clearly see this polish versus this surface is just not even close.
Yeah, so they've probably shaved a bunch of material off here too, for Ramses
Yeah.
to put his stuff on here.
But here,
It gets rid of the polish, and they couldn't polish it again because they didn't have the ability.
here's a piece of something
Yep.
that was there before. It's much finer polish, not quite to the level of this on the side, but much better than this or the insides of these hieroglyphs. There's another example here. It was a circle. It's the remnants of it, and its polished surface are left, and then of course this was carved in its place.
Yeah, there's another one up there, just above the bird.
Yeah, you can see a flat mark above
Yeah.
the duck in front of its beak.
Yep. And then there's a circle way up high in the middle.
Yeah. There's more on this cartouche here. I mean, there's just a bunch all over this.
Yeah.
So clearly, these were not made original. They are added later.
It's graffiti.
Yeah. But here, if you look between these two statues, you've got a very clear representation of the difference in quality between one and the other.
Yeah.
The one we're looking at is incredible high quality. And then this next one, although beautiful, it just doesn't have the same level of quality in the cuts, how deep the arms,
There's no
the
polish on the
armpits,
sides.
polish on the sides, the straightness of the sides.
The entire base is actually offset from the direction that the statue is facing, which is easier to see out front, but you can kind of see it here. The statue is facing this way, and the base is angled. If you look down there, you can see it.
And I mean, you know,
Still amazing work,
yeah,
but it looks like an attempt to copy something much finer that they had inherited or found. We see this all throughout Egypt. All right, we wrap it up. One more thing.
Yeah, I mean, real quick.
Yeah.
The lines in the clothing here, you can see they're like trying to carve it in at least where it terminates at the bottom, sort of a line cut in, whereas the others actually stand out. It's not a groove cut in the bottom, but also, I mean, you can just tell in the straightness of those lines, they're not as equidistant as the others, not nearly as straight. There's just so many features like that when you look at it in detail that you can tell it's a really good attempt. I couldn't do it. These guys, they were really good at what they did.
Yeah, they were.
Not as good
They were very
as
good
those guys.
pretending to be these guys.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
It's time for us to go.
Hope you enjoyed that. Luxor Temple, Brothers of the Serpent.
Snacks! Snacks!
Okay, special permission into the Sphinx enclosure and the Sphinx temple. I'm going to try doing some of this live. Hopefully the signal is okay. So the first thing you immediately see is how much of this is reconstructed. I mean, how much of the body of this sculpture is really a sphinx. Greetings to Germany from Egypt. So yeah, we're all interested in the Sphinx, but oh, people are taking pictures. But you guys can immediately see how ancient this stone. And these are blocks. See? That is a giant block. Reconstruction work, old reconstruction work. And all the very jealous people that aren't in the enclosure with us, because this is a special permission. And here's the infamous erosion. You can see the vertical lines. yeah, you can immediately see, you know, if this was carved out to make this this statue, and then the rest of it was used in the Sphinx temple, which is here. This is
Maybe
one of the
for a
walls of the
price.
Sphinx temple.
What's up? Welcome. What's up?
That whenever this quarrying was done was a long time ago. You can see these vertical erosion marks up there at the top. And there's some amazing fossils in this. Let's see if I can get you to see this. Another one. So yeah, how much of this is accurate to the actual sculpture? You know, this whole front paw, the front right paw, is completely reconstructed. That's original bedrock up there. Here's Ben. See what Ben's saying. Fossils? Yeah? You think it was cased?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you got this.
Yeah, you're right. There is
floating around,
granite.
like all the way down here. Maybe it's stuff from the Valley Temple, the Sphinx Temple.
No, we have. Are we like content streaming together here?
I'm not bold enough to.
No, you're not streaming.
No, I'm just.
What's the channel name again?
Ancient Eyes Odyssey.
Ancient Eyes Odyssey. You guys check this out. He's been videoing with us the whole time. He's on Instagram.
These guys are absolute legends. The more
you-
you see, the further questions you get.
Yeah, but they go to your channel, they get great information on the Romans, the Greeks,
Yeah,
right? That's
yeah.
where you go, right? Yeah.
You set a record on this trip, by the way. 10 special commissions.
Ah, man. So we were looking at this last time, this massive repair
Yeah.
of a huge vertical fissure, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird. Must have just really.
Yep, really carved it out right there.
Modern repair.
Yeah, so this is probably old kingdom stuff. This here, up here.
There was a. Yeah, well, you see on the other side there are the holes from where they were doing. The pipe is coming down from underneath. But actually, there's a pipe out the front, right in front of the green side.
It's like villages where they're going under.
Yeah.
There is a passage you can still get to.
At the back,
Got a
yeah.
door at the back.
Yeah, that's the one that Hawass was like doing that documentary. Went in and they got into somewhere that they hadn't seen before. Footage you never seen a lot of that.
So some of this looks like natural fractures in the bedrock, but other parts of it definitely look like erosion. And there's also the horizontal erosion you would see from regular desert wind-blown sand stuff, probably, or even moving water. You can see these kind of cuts, like on riverbanks, for example, but it doesn't seem like there would have been moving water in here, unless it was flowing over the top and down, and that's where you would get these vertical fissures. Like this is a deep one here. Hopefully we keep signal back here. Yeah? You think we can climb that? Can we Assassin's Creed all the way up there? No?
Not my level of assessment.
But yeah, that's some awesome erosion patterns back there. And it's above this, like, I don't know what this is. It's almost like mud. But it is, I think it's stone. Let's see. Yeah, this is, okay, that is, yeah, it's like crazy. So what do you think this is, this stuff?
But it's hard. I was
Yeah,
walking
it
on
is.
up there, and it's very, very hard stuff. Yeah, it's full of like really hard lumps up there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's limestone, but
It looks like a mud flood.
yeah.
Are we gonna go mud flood? Like it pours off the enclosure wall, fills this thing up with mud?
No,
No? Okay.
I'm not going there.
Not gonna go there.
No, but I'm look at that big sort of thing right there.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. Those cracks.
Yeah, I see it.
It reminds me of stuff we see. If we want to go mud flood, we got to go the whole Texas Hill Country is mud flood.
Yeah. So this is like a, I don't know, like a turbid limestone. It's just not the same as this
No.
stuff up here, right? It's a completely different
And
characteristic.
that stuff is actually quite soft compared to this
Yeah.
other stuff. So I'm not convinced that's 12,000 years of weathering. I think that could possibly happen quickly. It just needs the water to do it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't need.
So it
not
needs
like-
rain, but it doesn't need that much time.
Yeah. Like if you took Texas, like current Texas climate, and applied 12,000 years of that to that, I think it would be fucking,
Yeah. Far more eroded.
But if it was like 1,000 years of weathering and then buried in sand,
Yeah.
seems like wood. Did you see the asshole?
No, what?
There's literally there's a hole in its ass. I went down there as far as I could before the guy started freaking out.
Oh.
It's just trash. It looks like yeah, it's not.
So the asshole is full of shit? Is that what
Yes.
you're saying? Okay. It's great material for the stream.
Oh, we're streaming?
Yeah.
You gotta let me know. Right there.
Ah,
Just pick up on that wood and look down there.
okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Okay, it does go down. So there is a passage that goes below the Sphinx. Go in. Yeah, if I climbed in and lost signal, you guys would know all the secrets.
It's a button. Okay. There's a hole.
I think I'm the first human being to accidentally break a piece off of the string.
Hey.
I didn't do it on purpose.
There we go. For the stream.
Call it thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up. Give him a thumbs up. There we go. No, it was full of people. But we can do it.
I want to go take a pause.
I'm just, I'm just giving them the whole circular tour here. The stream.
Snake Forest.
No
Snake
one
forest.
alerts me when these streams
I know.
are
You
happening.
welcome me. I was saying all this crude stuff.
I just made a split-second decision. And then
Next
after that,
time.
I was streaming.
From a distance, you need to be like,
Okay.
Or like at least when I'm around.
Hey, what's up, Snake Force?
Yeah, I made an executive decision without consulting anyone.
I don't need to be consulted. I just need to be warned.
Okay, Warren.
We go back to episode 2. Hey. No.
No, it's okay. They try to convince you to take pictures with the kids.
Look at that beautiful faux brick.
Oh yeah.
It's just they downgraded from mud brick to just mud with brick lines.
Brick lines. Yes.
Yeah, well, this is the way it is. So
Yeah, I was the first person.
Yeah, so it's
Ben's check.
oh pin. Oh look, they're gonna let us through, yeah.
Haven't cried yet, but nearly. I do have my shoes off, so it could happen.
Oh no.
Brandis.
Well, that's dangerous to ground in here, bro.
Should I do it? I mean, I'm doing it almost everywhere.
It is amazing to walk under here and look up at that face. Even though I don't think that's the original face.
It's also the least eroded standard. Yeah, it was the longest.
Right.
That is my sense.
The granite piece is originally it was part of the casing stone of the Sun Temple. Okay, this temple was all encased with granite and it had alabaster, which you will see the remnants of. and then it was reused during the new kingdom, the time of Thutmose, Melchep al-Ra, and they created that green stela, and they described on it the event that happened when he was hunting near and fell asleep and dreamed that the Sphinx was talking to him and told him, like, reveal me from the rubble and you shall become the successor of the throne. The most popular story for the academics that this was a quarry for the pyramids and that this piece of stone remained, so instead of taking the hard work of removing it, they decided to carve it as a sphinx. This is the very popular story that most of the tour guides will be seeing. But also on the survey that was done here, Dr. Robert Sharp found that these pieces of this temple exactly matching the geologic order of the surrounding. So these pieces were extracted and moved to build this temple. Not to build the pyramid, and this piece was remaining as an extra piece of limestone. No, they moved these ones to build that temple right in front. And in some cases you're going to find that it was built in the same geologic order as well. When you see the weaker sediments in the different blocks are matching the same erosion. The harder parts and the softer parts that deteriorated are all, not all, but like you can look at it from here. You see some blocks, there is a line of blocks there further back, and you can see the eroded part of it is matching in each block, which shows, let's start wondering. I don't know, the Sphinx is on this. The lower part is bedrock. These blocks are built from the same geologic order because you can see the weaker layer of sediments is matching in all the blocks. This is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So they were cut and moved and constructed according to the same geologic order. This is a very challenging process.
Yeah, they got it out and put them back in the right order.
But you can see that the erosion of it is matching what we saw around the middle pyramid. Especially that these could be older actually, but they could be buried because they are down here in the tank. The other ones were exposed more because they are up. Then you can find the natural geologic order from the left to the right, and you can see that it matches the Sphinx itself. So the majority of this looks like the bedrock was worked in order to house these two things. And here are the fishes. So you can find here, according to the information from the photographer, we find two types of erosion. Can I put this on? As we were saying, according to the information from the survey of Dr. Robert Sharp, we find here two different types of erosion. The normal one that we recognize it, that can happen by wind and sand is the horizontal one. It's the wind blowing and affecting the weaker sediments of the bedrock, causing these results. But the rainwater affected the stone with these shapes, if we can call them fissures. So these naturally, as you can see in the little parts here, they exist naturally in the rock. But they got enlarged from the water coming through it for years and years. So this is the difference. The horizontal erosion is the one caused by wind and sand, and you can see it on the body of the Sphinx. The vertical ones are the ones caused by the rain that, according to the studies of Dr. Robert Sharp, ended about 11,700 years ago. So the structure cannot be, or the Sphinx and the Sphinx enclosure cannot be less than 11,700 years ago, according to the geologic information. You can see the older restoration and the newer restoration. Now, whenever you see a technical drawing, I cannot find one that shows where these passages or chambers lead to. As you can see, the part of the cave which shows that this is down below the body of a lion, and all the stories about that this was a jackal guarding the necropolis is zero evidence to support it. The name Berhul, when the word Abul Hul came from Berhul, and then Abul, and then Abul Hul. All this is coming from ancient Egypt. And we have Hurim Achid, the one facing the horizon. Or Horus is in the horizon. But Hur is coming from the word Hir, which means face. Hurim Achid. Achid means the horizon. And some of the studies talks about also why is it the Leo, not just on the greater cycle, but on another annual cycle of the flood as well. They believe that when the sun rises from Leo, this is the time of the flood every year. That's the connection also of the annual year, according to some of them.
What do you think about this? How old do you think this repair work might be?
This repair work is done in the recent times. And makes you wonder, is it just a big cavity in the rock?
Yeah.
Or it actually leads to the corridors in the other temple over there?
Oh. Oh, man.
How high was the Nile when it flooded in the ancient times?
You saw where the ducks were? The slope angles on the front,
Yeah.
that's where the ducks were.
And there's like a little sort of trench just going this way in the front.
Yeah, but if the water flooded, it could be taken to the underground chamber or tunnel system.
Yeah.
It almost looks like down there.
I'm wondering if this was part of like something that they were using for the floods, the time during the Nile flooding. I don't know.
Well, it's not going to be up here.
It wouldn't be up
more than below. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Talk about that really weird shaped stone over there.
No.
Like shaped stone surface.
No, we.
He's streaming.
Oh, right, you're streaming.
The Infinity Stream.
All right. Streamception.
Check them out for all the ancient technology.
So there's a you should look at this stone at some point.
Okay.
It's really strange. It looks carved. It's laying over there, limestone. And I thought it was like a natural piece, but I saw a piece in a little piece in a museum. Carved. It looks exactly the same.
Okay.
So I took a picture of that.
Yeah, we need to go check it out. Yeah. He's pointing out more of the erosion features here. Yeah.
The other sediments, as you can see, the one was shifted all around.
Yeah, I think so.
Here we go.
There are no tunnels under the sea. Also, this cavity down here was shown in the survey by the GPR. This is the other one. So, of course, the official said yes, we are aware of this one. But this one is something, and the one on the front, and the paw in the front is something.
And this one keeps going, but it's like rubble, full of dirt and rubble.
It's full of mud, which is strange. That's enough, sir.
Full of mud.
Yeah, there is mud.
Push him in.
It could be an attempt to find the chamber,
Yeah.
like the one in the top. You know, the famous photos of Dr. Zay looking from. That's when it was buried. Those who were looking for the chamber didn't want to take the work of revealing the entire Sphinx. They went for it. So they said if we just dig from the back of the Sphinx down, we can reach to the chamber.
This hole right now, why keep the hole right here? Why not come out here?
This isn't even.
This
Yeah.
is an installation.
Yeah, that's blocks
This
in
is
there.
an installation. Look, there's a
So that may have been out here.
Yeah,
from
go
there.
ahead.
Why make a big deal out of it? Why not just video it and show to the public that it's not? These are the mud break
Yeah, glad you guys are enjoying it.
holes that were built by Tut Morgan. On the 18th century, after they removed the
Oh my god. We've discovered the fourth pyramid of Giza. The hidden chambers are not accessible, or at least not to us. But we are going into the Sphinx Temple.
one that ends up as salt and becomes more hard, better than what we choose. This is thousands of years old. The one that was built or encased in the 90s cannot take the majority of
Yes,
the
perfect.
and
Old Kingdom, modern.
But if they were using geology like the ancients, they would choose the stone that will build up this salty place and the hardening from the moisture. Limestone. They're both limestone, but there is the quality.
What do you think this protrusion is in the first place? Why is it?
Eventually does it.
Give us answers.
It's symbolic.
It's a cover up.
How many times did that be restored?
Right.
Can't believe these were done at the old
Yusuf, are these blocks actually mortared to the bedrock? So they're actually stuck to it?
body is old bedrock. Here is some of the old restoration. We can go back to the old.
Yeah. What do you guys think that is? Somebody did a little bit of drilling. Mm-hmm.
Very sturdy. So removing the bedrock and using it in the temple. What do you say?
'90s.
94, 95.
And then the older.
And there were other attempts for the restoration also by the American archaeology late 70s as well. But they were also looking for the passing. This is the truth. And the fund gathering was by the wife of the Egyptian, the American ambassador. This information. If somebody dropped this information by mistake. But anyway, I found it, and I'm gonna give it to them so you can share it.
All right.
And they do say that they found part still that is not bedrock. And they met. The project was shut. And then the whole chamber thing started. I think this was in the 80s, the early 80s. The president was shot and the whole system was in case, but they shut that program with it, the restoration, and they looking for possibilities of underground galleries, and they also actually banned the lady from coming back. The wife.
He was shot.
No, I'm not connecting those to this. Okay. Don't get me in trouble. But I'm telling you that this was happening during that time. Right. Huh? Yeah. So yeah, there's been also always been like some people trying to look for these chambers, and it looks like there is always another team who is stopping this from happening. Why? To ban the wife of the American ambassador. You know what? The person who mistakenly dropped this file somewhere where I live, I found also a letter that shows the vice president at the time, Bush the father, is sending, a congratulation letter to the lady for the Sphinx project. Soon, on the Uncharted Oxygen.
There you go. Coming soon.
It may sound like that,
Also now on Brothers and Serpents.
Give it.
Oh, there we go.
Lila, say commit.
She's the queen.
That is great.
Okay, my friends, gather around Lila because it's time for the
Okay,
group photo.
we're doing a group photo.
40 of us are going to squeeze in. Oh no, come on.
We face this way so we can be with the Sphinx.
Come on, man. Cartman. Come on. Come on, Cartman. Dude, yeah, you've been free for like fucking like
Stick
2
with us
minutes.
through the group photo here.
Live stream with the group photo.
Huh?
Kneel down.
Okay.
You're gonna
Hold.
have to sit.
You're gonna hold the hand because Mr. Mo is asking the tour leaders to come in the front
Oh,
Okay.
so we can do a
Okay.
commercial.
all right.
Sliding. Can we just sit?
Here, let me slide up to the front here. Yep.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Good, sir. Okay.
The workers. He calling out the workers. Hey, workers, assume the position.
Okay, okay. We're kneeling down.
I'm sitting.
Yes, sir.
لا لا بس
I'm going to sit down lower.
yeah I mean they get demanding behind you man.
All right, here we go. You guys are in the group photo. That's what happens when you're.
ايه النور ده يا دكتورة؟
All right, come on. No, no, no.
What, you didn't get the head in?
He get the head. بقول لك ايه؟ بقول لك ايه؟
هات راسها من
ولا
فوق.
بس هات هيك طلع بس طلع بس.
All right, here we go.
It's right. You got it, you got it, got it.
Streaming over there.
Yeah. ضمير يا عم سعد ضمير الراس طالعه مهم اكتر مننا اصلا يا ابني ده هم كلهم حياتهم عشان الراس دي لا كده كتير يا عم
Hey. Hey. Okay.
I can't sit with
The stream was in the group photo. The stream was in the group photo with everybody. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
What do you got? 80? Oh, you got a bunch of people watching. 177.
And that stream.
Yes.
Okay.
We're about to.
Sphinx
into the
Temple.
Sphinx Temple. Yeah. What's under the platform? I think it's more bedrock. I mean, they could have hidden something underneath
The
it.
Minecraft in there too, I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
It's also the middle of the night.
Oh, it is. Yeah, yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah.
I'm tempted to go on Twitch maybe.
Want to see if I can grab a shot with y'all?
Yeah. Let me give this to Kyle.
Yeah.
Or wait, we need Kyle. In
Yeah,
the
we need
photo,
Kyle.
too.
Maybe give it to.
Kyle.
Nice suit.
Kyle. Yeah, we need Yusuf.
He's looking at the photos. More photos. More photos.
Chris, you take this for a second? It's streaming, so.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Chris Dunn, ladies and gentlemen.
The preeminent. All right. Say something, lads.
Camera.
Camera are we looking at?
Yeah, which one are we looking at?
I got this one going.
Look at the Sphinx.
That's a good call.
Say something smart.
That's probably better.
Smart. iPhone 42. How about that?
All right.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Okay.
I'm ready now.
Yeah.
All right, we're going into the temple. Okay.
Picture real quick.
all the way across. You can tell it looks like the water sat there about that level, which would have gone clear across and through here. So in my opinion,
Yes.
like you can see where it just sat there and just sort of chewed away. See, there's different blocks.
I know. Okay, so what you said, the geologists have analyzed that the blocks that they removed from the Sphinx enclosure were used to build the temple in the same geological layering that they extracted from here. So they actually matched.
Moved them over here.
They moved them here and they matched the
layering, the geological layering,
Yeah.
in its natural form.
Interesting.
So the fact that you see this, it is true that those are eroded more than the stuff right on top. So like you're
Yeah,
saying, like
yeah.
water set up here.
Yeah.
But the reason it's the same all the way around is because it's actually the same geological layer of stone
Gotcha.
coming from one body.
Did you say how long ago they did that?
That's up for debate. It would have been when they excavated the Sphinx enclosure.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could have been.
That's
Definitely could have been very, very long.
no doubt they had to do more.
You think so?
Oh yeah. Well, I know obviously rain.
Yeah.
Like a problem.
But actually standing water here, because that's why I was asking you, like how high would the Nile flooding kind of
Yeah.
What do you figure out?
how high would the Nile flooding be? He was saying it would have come in and there's
And
like
now
all
also
these-
streaming
all
live.
all these tunnels
Streamception. Stream.
rise up down there.
The internet is going to explode.
and start entering all the tunnels
Yeah.
underneath.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was just saying it didn't come up this high. However, who knows?
Do an app here.
Yeah, there's.
Curious to know when they.
Are you using the stream app that you have?
Yeah, I mean, it
I'm
would have been
using
the
this,
same time
I'm
that
on
they
Twitch.
caused the
Yeah.
Sphinx.
Oh, on
right?
Twitch. Okay, so
Yeah.
Ben's over
Yeah,
on
same.
Twitch.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I'm gonna work that out for the.
Well, let's get down and see what we got down
Yeah.
there.
Have we got Am?
We're going down.
Get Am?
Into the Sphinx Temple. This is a rare
Real quick.
opportunity. Yeah,
That's the
let's.
rock.
Oh, okay. Let's go look at that.
Look
yeah.
at it. Sidetrack.
Yeah, that's a weird.
It looks like a head jet almost,
It does.
but then it's. Here, I'll have to compare that. That's a carbon.
Yeah, that is a weird. Were they trying to split it?
Is it a head jet that's been. Yeah, maybe they were trying to. That's just. I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah, that is.
there's something. We'll have to go
Something
through
weird
the
about
photos
that.
because
Yeah.
I got a photo of this small artifact in a museum that looks.
Looks just like it. Okay.
I thought it did.
Hey guys, thanks for the donations too. I didn't even see who did it. Sorry. I'm
Yeah, appreciate it.
spending a lot of time looking at rocks instead of looking at the screen. So thank you guys. So look at the scale of the blocks here. These are the first blocks of the Sphinx Temple. And again, this is a really amazing special permission that we've got. This place has been closed for so long that until the last tour we did, Yusuf had never even been in here. So that special permission we got through Mo, who is amazing, and got us into the temple, into the Sphinx Temple, sort of opened it up, and now we're able to do it. You know, if we can bring everybody together, it's not cheap. But yeah, a lot of people on this tour were like, let's do it. And so we were able to make it happen. Mo was able to make it happen. Yeah. Yeah. Here we go. So now we're in the space between the Valley Temple, which is here,
I love to be
and the Sphinx Temple.
I am, my friend.
Lots of
I am.
interesting cuts into the bedrock.
I am, buddy.
And you can just see the massive.
One keeps dropping out. We can just follow Ben close enough to say everything we say.
Or I just like follow him and just like listen to him on my live stream.
Well, mine keeps dropping out on Twitch.
Oh.
Same time, network connection.
Yeah, I don't know what the quality is going to be like. So yeah, you can see the scale of the blocks.
Hey, man, thanks a lot, dude.
Yeah.
See that block
That's
is
what I'm
like
saying, man.
vertical,
Like,
Yeah.
I'm recommending it to everyone that has a
Strata going
bachelor's
up,
degree. I know
yeah.
it's so discriminatory. I don't
And then
think
of
you need a
course,
bachelor's degree to teach English, but whatever.
where it
Yeah,
happened,
man.
if it's into
Right,
the
let me tell you.
side where it was obviously the case.
You can only speak Chinese. Oh, this is Chinese.
Yeah.
In,
That's like the. So for example, here, this mark is probably where they had a granite casing stone set in, because this whole thing was cased in granite. But this is the Valley Temple again, and then here we're looking at the megalithic blocks, limestone of the Sphinx Temple to the left.
Meowing on a live stream the whole time.
Okay, we're being called. You guys can see the granite blocks here. Some of these are, I'm on the wrong side for you to see it, but they're cornice cuts like this. They've got this beautiful arc cut in. Let's see if I can slide through here. Nope. I can't fit.
Simon says, take your hand off your head. Simon says, turn around in a circle. Simon says,
Bring it on, baby.
push your left
Bring it
hand
on.
up. Put it down.
Bring it on.
Oh, that's good. Simon
can do
says,
that.
put your right hand up.
I can do
Simon
that.
says, put both of your arms down. Put them up. Simon says, put your right leg up. Simon says, put your right leg down. Simon says, put your left leg up. Simon says, hop on one leg. And Simon says, stop up. Simon says, take your hand off your head.
Good morning. I'm Oscar. I'm almost 5 years old.
What is your dream job?
My dream job, I want to be an astronaut.
How will you dress like?
I'll dress like a spacesuit.
How will you help people?
I'll check orphans if there are any.
Yeah. Dude, I was just thinking that. I'm like, I've been fighting the last like 3 years of my life against communism, and now when we did like possibly the most communist. I was in Cuba. I was in Cuba last year.
Enthusiastic teachers who are dedicated to their students. Teachers are an essential component to make a classroom a success, so we pursue passionate, qualified individuals who love working with children. Our teaching team is managed and supported by our Center Development Executives who ensure the success and happiness of all of our teachers.
In the classroom, the teacher is responsible for providing a beneficial lesson, so we look for teachers who are passionate about teaching and who are eager to help students reach their full potential. Our teachers enjoy creating fun, interactive learning environments for their students by utilizing educational activities in order to ensure children are excited about learning English. Monkey Tree teachers are all native English speakers with at least a bachelor's degree from an accredited university. Additionally, we require all our teachers to complete their Teaching English as a Foreign Language certificate in order to ensure that teachers arrive in Hong Kong qualified to teach a foreign language.
Before teachers begin teaching lessons on their own, they are required to complete a comprehensive training program. During this period, new teachers will learn all about the wide variety of monkey tree
courses offer, and different techniques that are successful in ensuring the students benefit from every lesson. The trainees will first observe experienced teachers and then will teach the lessons while receiving beneficial feedback from an experienced teacher about any necessary improvements. After the training period, teachers will be
We usually spend about 3 hours here. We're about an hour in, so I wanted to start a live walkthrough. Kyle just joined me.
I just finally got it working.
So the first thing we'll look at is these calcite shrines, chapels, built out of a single piece. At least this one was. That one looks like it was blocks. But these are interesting because there's some saw marks and other cut marks in these things. Yeah, is the roof different? Is the roof separate? Yeah, I see it. Yeah, right there. Oh, I see what you mean. There's definitely a saw mark right here. You can see how it's cut into the stone there. I'm not sure what this cut would have even been for. Is it an overcut?
There is a modern one. This is concrete. You can't tell
where it stopped.
Had to have been lasered.
You can also see in some of these corners, I don't see it on this one, there's remnants of saw marks, but there's a really good cut mark here. You can see it starts, goes up all the way down to here.
Good thing about this one is this.
Yeah.
It's very thin.
Right, that was a thin blade. But when you back out, you can see that it definitely has an arc. And again, single piece, beautiful.
Depth of it. So if it was one of the covered drag saws, it would be a lot more wedge shaped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the sand is not only grinding at the leading edge, but on the sides as well.
Right.
It's constantly widening.
Yeah. So you're pointing out that it's a pretty like consistent width.
Yeah.
All the way back there in the beach. Yeah. What about this? What is this? And we were discussing this as well, this thing. So this may be a patch made in antiquity. And it's if either the carving was already there and this part broke out, because this material tends to fall. Like you can see these holes that are in it where the crystals just fall out of it. So maybe something like that happened here, and they kind of cut around, and then they put a patch in, and then they carved it again. But it looks like the carving was done after this patch was made.
I think it's the same
Same material. inserts. Yeah.
They're planning to flatten the surface. But you can see these, a lot of these are cut.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. So maybe there was a patch here and it's just gone. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's patches everywhere. Yeah. Oh right. Yep. So here on this inside edge, you can see the. Let's see if I can get the camera to show. It's hard with the lighting. It's so bright over here. But there's the remnants of a saw cut going. There you go. Now we can see it. Right down the edge here.
I'm almost done. I'm going to do some electrical and then I'm going to sign off. So maybe 5 to more minutes.
Like the saw was cutting this way. Kyle's blocking the light for us. Yeah, so the saw was rotating like this and left this cut line down the inside edge there. Thank you, Shadow Man. Oh yeah. Now this is calcite. It's not a hard material, but difficult to work. It's sort of brittle or crumbly. So you can see here the nature of the stone. All of this is modern repair. Geopolymer. This is the that pattern. So you can imagine them cutting through a cave formation there, possibly. Stalagmite or stalactite formation. It's like tree rings.
Thanks for being here.
Shall we walk over to the entrance? You can see fragments everywhere here. They've lined them up. Rows of statues, bits of walls. Just rows and rows and rows of blocks with carvings, engravings, and writing.
Thanks for being here. We're gonna read somebody. A lot of people here today. Thank you.
Some really fine.
Thank you for being you.
Bas relief carving here. So it's raised instead of sunken. Really fine work.
Actually, we may not rate anybody.
Every time we come here, Yusuf says the name of this pharaoh, and I can never remember. He says it every time we come here, and I just I can't. I recognize the symbol.
Yeah, we're not gonna rate anybody. We're just gonna sign off. Sorry, maybe. Well, let's see.
New Zealand.
Is there any random fitness and health people?
Here's how the king wants his breakfast made. Okay. Well, it's I mean. Okay, low heat.
Yeah, I'm just gonna not rate anybody. Thanks for being here.